Thank you for joining us. You were just listening to internationally known singer-songwriter and good friend Jessie Terry's Kaleidoscope. On behalf of the K-Team, as one of our writers lovingly refers to us, welcome to Kaleidoscope WoJo's virtual book launch and book signing. We're so glad to be here. Kaleidoscope WoJo, Reflections on Women's Journeys, announces the first in a series of anthologies, In My Shoes. Today, we're going to flip through the pages of our story, introduce you to our writers, and tell you what's coming up next for Kaleidoscope WoJo. With so many writers, and for the sake of time, much of today's launch has been recorded. This book is dedicated to our moms, grandmothers, aunts, sisters, daughters, granddaughters, nieces, cousins, and dear friends. While we may not universally share the same beliefs on all manners of subjects, we do share the commonality of recognizing our unique journeys as women. We would like to thank the following individuals for their support, encouragement, and review of the story: Sally Sutton, Dave and Faith Stevens, Jim Beam, Ryan Chester, and the original writers of our prototype Familiar Voices. You can read the bios of our co-founders, Deb, Tom, and Marianne, while you hear a bit more about us. 3 people started off to write a business book, relying on decades of experience in corporate positions and as consultants. Instead, we ended up going down another path. Kaleidoscope WoJo, In My Shoes, is the culmination of 3 years of effort at creating a platform to reach women writers and to collect personal memoirs on a variety of topics. Every life is about overcoming obstacles and challenges that crop up unannounced and unexpected. No one escapes life unscathed. Our responses to these events shape the people we become. We have gathered the best of those stories submitted to us that reflect the challenges that life presents and the power of transcendence. In addition to our book, In My Shoes, we also offer webinars, workshops, and retreats to foster the art of storytelling for individuals, work teams, and organizations. Our lives are reflected in the stories we choose to tell, as well as the stories that teams and organizations tell reflect the culture embedded in them. Come, explore the power of women's voices and be inspired. As mentioned in our foreword, our book, In My Shoes, includes a very diverse group of women writers in background, location, education, and writing styles. Today, you'll get an introduction to the writers, and you'll find more of their details on our website. You'll be able to put a face to the name, get to know them by reading their bios, get a glimpse of their story through their excerpt, and hear what they have to say about participating in this project.
And now Kaleidoscope WoJo, Reflections on Women's Journeys, announces In My Shoes writer Aleida Socarras and her story, Coming of Age in America. Aleida Socarras is a retired energy industry executive with years of leadership and organizational development experience. Aleida spent most of her professional life writing nonfiction, but always longed to have the time to learn the craft of fictional writing. The story included in this anthology is her debut performance. Aleida is currently working on her first book about the adventures of a strong-willed nun. Aleida is married and spends her time between California and Florida. You can read her travel stories at www.adjustingtoretirement.com. And now let's hear an excerpt from Aleida's essay, Coming of Age in America. The plane is full of immigrants from Cuba, and they know they are now safe. They've made it to the United States, the land of freedom and opportunities they have dreamed of for so many years. We've arrived. We are safe. Behind, we have left our families, our friends, our homes, all our possessions.
And now let's hear from Aleida. Aleida, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
So as was said before, I am a retired professional from the energy industry. And since I've retired, I've had a chance to play at writing and being the next Isabel Allende or Elena Ferrante. I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm enjoying having the time and the freedom to be able to put down, some of the thoughts that I've had and some of the stories that I've been wanting to tell for a long time. I'm married. Jose and I have been married for 42 years. We have 2 grown children. Both live within a couple of miles apart in San Francisco. And we have a home in Florida, but have had to make California our home for the last few months because of COVID, and we're really enjoying it. And I've had the opportunity to meet some great people like Sarah, so we're really having a good time.
Awesome.
My inspiration.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, my inspiration for the story was, something that I think I had been thinking about for a long time. Both my parents passed very young. My dad had only been in this country for less than 10 years, and my mom died shortly after him. So they never really had a chance to enjoy this country and to really see the fruit of their sacrifice. But for my brother, my sister, and I, they gave us an opportunity that we would have never had. And so for me, I've always have had that feeling that all that they gave up for us and to come to this strange country where so many things were happening in the 60s, I was too young to ask them, what they were thinking and what they were feeling. But now I can think back and it's like, wow, what they went through. But that taught us, my brother, my sister, and I, we all grew up to be good people and have done well. And it taught us that you have to nothing is black and white. You have to kind of learn as you go along. You have to adjust, you have to adapt, and you have to have an optimism for life like my parents did. And I think that essay was in me for a long time, and I really thank the Kaleidoscope team for giving me the opportunity. I had always done a lot of nonfiction writing for work, but I had never entered any kind of a contest or anything like that. This was my first chance, and wow, when I won, it was like, what? I was so thrilled. And so, it was just wonderful. It was just a wonderful experience. And I'm really thankful to you guys for the opportunity. I don't know if you know it or not, but I think I'm part of the K team. So
Feels like that for us.
And then, the book that you mentioned in the introduction is actually now published through Amazon. Appreciate, all the encouragement you guys gave me. It's now available. I hope people will read it. And if they like it, that they will write some good reviews. And if they don't, that they'll give me a private call and say that they didn't like it. And then I'm working on several projects, but what I'm going to be doing next month, which is what I did for the other stories that I've written or the other books that I've written, is that during the month of November, it's NaNoWriMo month, National Novel Writing Month. And so it gives me a great impetus to sit down and write. And I've done it before and I'll do it again, 50,000 words or more. And that's going to be my next story. It's going to be the story of a mother and daughter that were separated when the daughter was only 5 years old. And the story is going to be about their journey to find each other once again and create a new life.
Wow, that sounds great.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Look forward to it.
And
So So anything else you want to share about what's coming up next? That's a lot.
Yeah, no, that's it. I'm gonna be rewriting my memoir, which I wrote but never dared to publish because I made my son cry and I made my daughter mad at me. I'll rewrite it. And then I'm also going to be writing some nonfiction stuff that I've already have written. I just need to get down and put it all together. So yeah,
Awesome. We look forward to seeing some of that.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
So now we're just going to do a little shout out where anybody can say whatever they'd like to Aleida. And on behalf of the K team, we'd like to thank you for, sharing your talent and being part of our anthology journey.
Thank you.
So I had a chance, I haven't read that piece of it. I read the other book that she just published, and it was heartwarming, and it caused you to think, which is always good, and reflect as well. And just beautifully written. So it was nice and comfortable to read.
Thank you, Sarah.
Awesome. Anybody else want to say anything to Aleida?
I
Yeah,
would.
sorry. Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
this is Wendy Nelson. Hi, everybody. Aleida, I just want to comment on your beautiful story, and more importantly, to see you, your spirit is just beautiful. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So Wendy is another writer in the anthology. She has one of the stories as well.
That's great.
Aleida, what about your professional career is helping you pivot into this writing career?
I think just the practice of writing, and I remember early on starting out, and Alana, you will probably go through this. Just to write a paragraph would be murder. It would be torturous. Just to put two sentences together. And when you have to write memos and you have to write reports and you have to do research and and do presentations and all of that, it just helped me. Although I don't have the formal training, it just kind of helped me through practice to be able to put my thoughts together and to be able to express myself. And I think that now doing it creatively has been a lot of fun. And I'm also learning a lot. I'm taking classes to write fiction, write, and so I've had to unlearn a lot of the things throughout my career. Things.
So we're having a little bit of a technology issue here.
So,
Can somebody else say something to see if it's just Aleida?
Hello, hello.
I'm still here.
I know in what I read, I loved her analogies.
Very cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Network connect. Yeah.
There you go. Now we can hear you again. Good question. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to say to Aleida?
I guess the other thing I'd like to say is, just what you said about your parents making that move to the United States and then not necessarily really being able to enjoy the courage to do what they did. I just, reading something like that and trying to fathom what it would be like to leave the country that you historically have been, tied to your, through generations and everything else, and then to pull up stakes to do what you did, it's just, as a family, I don't have any words to describe that other than I can't even imagine what that would be like. But you helped us understand.
And came into this country in the 60s where there was so much turmoil
Yeah.
against the Vietnam War and all of that. And they were just like, yeah, and they were from a little town in Cuba too. So to them, Miami was like the big city. So I mean, I can't imagine the sacrifice they did.
No.
So a lot of my stories reflect that background.
I think that's so important right now too. We need that type of voice talking about those experiences. That's so important.
Yeah.
Well, and it's great that Kaleidoscope pulled together a contest that sounds like that was really the inspiration that really has you writing a lot of different things now and finishing up things that were sort of in your mind or in progress over time too.
It definitely did. You guys, I mean, I belong to a lot of writers group, but none of them are as encouraging and as supportive as you guys. You guys have a unique formula. And well, in your anthology, 40 some plus women wrote in, and so it speaks for itself what you guys are doing.
Always nice to hear.
Yeah, it is nice to hear.
Thank you.
Alana, you're learning from the best.
She's pretty good in her own right. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah.
I can definitely say from my experience, both of my parents actually immigrated here from Ireland and Brazil. So I think, you putting that and kind of creating imagery into the reader's mind is honestly kind of powerful.
Excellent. So
Now I look forward to reading all the anthology.
Yeah, give us feedback. Either write a good review or call Aleida.
Perfect.
Well, and it's fun to see what people do as they go through different career and life transitions too. I enjoy and appreciate that.
Yeah, because most of us on this call are probably on at least our second, if not third.
Yeah.
So as you're aware, so we'll finish up here. As you're aware, there's 41 other true essays included in My Shoes, and here's just a couple of the reviews that we've had to date. In My Shoes is a rich collection of short stories that wears its heart on its sleeve. It's easy to read at a quick pace, and readers will relate to specific narratives depending upon their experiences. Carol Skeldon. There's something for everyone here, my next book club pick. You'll be inspired by these stories and the sheer grit of the women. Teresa Kane. I enjoyed reading In My Shoes. It's a remarkable anthology of very personal, poignant, and in some cases quite universal experiences. The overarching message I take from the assortment of events is we should never feel alone with concerns or confusion over life events. Take heart that this compilation of adventures, ordeals, and incidences will guide and heal as well as quite often amuse. Viv Fish. So you all know about the Kaleidoscope community. You can join it by going to our website, www.kaleidoscopewojo.com, and sign up for notifications. We continue to look for ways to engage the writers by offering various prompts, various write-ins, as well as contests. And then we try to engage readers as well with offering them stories. The contest winners, we're doing Cup of WoJo now, so you can have a little story every Saturday morning with your cup of tea or coffee. So if you're not following us, feel free to do that. We'd like to thank a couple people. We'd like to thank all the writers that had submitted to us and trusted us with their stories. Thank you for that. We want to thank Aleida for her sharing her talent with us. Thank Ryan Chester, graphic designer, for all the images that are Kaleidoscope, as well as his design and support of the website. And then thank Jesse Terry, international singer-songwriter and good friend of ours, for allowing us to use his song Kaleidoscope in various formats. So now, Aleida's official signing, book signing.
That is so cool.
That's pretty cool.
Thank you all. I really appreciate it.
You are welcome.
I just gotta say, my son his girlfriend has two young girls, and I gave them the anthology,
Did you?
and they're enjoying reading the stories, because we're always trying to encourage them, to become strong women, and a lot of the stories in there are very inspiring. So
That's great.
How old are they?
12 and 10.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, so it's a perfect age.
Very cool.
That's great.
Well, everyone, we appreciate you coming today. We appreciate, again, it's been very enjoyable sharing this little bit of time that we've had with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Sarah, Wendy, Alana, Debbie, Tom, and Marianne. Appreciate you all being with me today.
Be safe
bet.
in your travels.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Congrats.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.